So, you're a Nissan owner, and that dreaded code C1345 just popped up on your scanner? Well, you've come to the right place. Today, we're going to completely demystify it. We'll turn that confusing string of numbers and letters into a clear, straightforward action plan.
We've all been there, right? That little light on the dashboard flicks on and your heart just sinks a little. It's that universal moment of stress, that sudden interruption that makes you wonder, okay, what's wrong now? And what's this going to cost me?
But hey, don't sweat it. That code isn't just some random alert. It's actually a message. And right now, we're going to act as the translator. We're going to figure out exactly what your Nissan is trying to tell you with this C1345 code.
Okay, let's break this down and just forget all the technical jargon for a second. At its core, C1345 means your car's brain has, well, a little bit of amnesia. It's forgotten the specific, super important settings for a critical component in your brake system.
Now let's look at the official language, what a mechanic scanner would actually tell you. That linear solenoid valve? That's a key part that helps control your brake fluid pressure. And as you can see, the computer has lost its calibration for each individual wheel: front right, front left, and rear left. Essentially, the computer's lost its roadmap for how to properly manage the brakes.
All right, so the computer forgot. The big question is, why did it forget? It's time to play detective. We're going to investigate the three main suspects behind this case of automotive amnesia.
And you know, here's where it gets a lot less scary. This isn't some bizarre needle in a haystack kind of problem. The source material tells us there are just a few very common culprits. So we're not searching in the dark here. We have a clear list of things to check out.
And here they are. Think of this table as our game plan for the next few minutes. You can see the three main causes on the left, and right next to them, their solutions. We're going to tackle these one by one, and we'll start with the most common and, thankfully, the simplest fix first.
All right, enough theory. It is time for the practical part. Let's walk through your path to a fix, step by step. We're going to turn all that diagnostic info into a real action plan you can use.
So cause number one, and honestly, this is the most frequent reason you'll see this code, it's simply that the initialization and calibration have been undone. It's kind of like your computer just had a momentary glitch and poof, lost the file.
Now, the fix for this one is thankfully pretty straightforward. A mechanic or anyone with the right diagnostic tool can just check if those values are stored. If they're not there, it's really just a matter of reinitializing them, basically reteaching the computer the important settings it forgot.
Okay, but what if reinitializing doesn't work? Well, then we move on to our second suspect, a faulty brake ECU. The ECU is the electronic control unit. It's the little computer, the brain, that manages your brakes. And if the brain itself is the problem, just reteaching it isn't going to be a permanent fix.
So if the ECU is faulty, you've got a decision to make. It's a real fork in the road. You could try to get it repaired, which might save you some money, but it's not a guaranteed fix, and it often requires a specialist. The other option is to just replace it. Yeah, it costs more upfront, but it gives you the peace of mind of a working part, and it's usually a much quicker solution.
And that brings us to our final suspect, which takes us to the nervous system of the car. It's not the brain, and it's not the memory. It's the connection between them. A bad connection or a faulty wire can stop the brake ECU from communicating the right way, and that can trigger the C1345 error code.
The fix here is all about careful inspection. You or your mechanic really need to trace the lines. Check the plug going into the brake ECU and make sure it has a solid connection. You got to look over all the wires in that area for any signs of fraying or corrosion or damage. A lot of the time, just fixing a simple loose connection is all it takes.
So there you have it. We've decoded the message, we've identified the suspects, and we've outlined the action plan. Let's just bring it all together and focus on the main takeaway, the thing that moves you from being confused to feeling in control.
And this right here is the most important thing to remember. Whatever you do, don't just jump to the most expensive conclusion. Troubleshooting code C1345 is a logical process of elimination. You always start with the easiest and most common fix, the reinitialization, long before you even think about replacing pricey parts like the ECU.
So now, instead of just seeing a warning light and feeling that dread, you see a path forward. You get the message, you know the potential causes, and you've got a logical order to check them out. You're no longer in the dark. The only question is, now that you're armed with this knowledge, what's your first step?